anxiety has been coming up for everyone, I think, in different ways, shapes, and forms. And I want to share with you two different tools that you can use for anxiety. One is what we call coping ahead. I don't know if you remember back in school when we were little, we had fire drills. I used to love fire drills. The fire drill would always happen when I was in a class that I just did not want to be in. And it was like the most boring subject. And the bell would ring and I'd just be like, yes. And we'd all have to go outside. And then there was always this one kid that was like acting out. So we had to wait and take a while to go inside because of that one kid. And I'd just tell him in my mind, keep going, keep going. But the whole point of the fire drill was that we hope we never have a fire at school. And by getting into the practice of dealing with it, we are ready just in case. Well, coping ahead is what we do for ourselves with different things that come up in our lives. Remember, I was just talking about in the beginning of my presentation, uncertainty. We're living through a time where lots of not good surprises are coming. So it's really important to do everything we can, not to try to predict the future, but to do many emotional and mental fire drills of how we are going to respond in different situations that might come up. Maybe it's a colleague that you work with that you know that sometimes you have confrontation with. Taking time to pause and think through how to respond to that more effectively will help you in that situation. If something happens with your job that is not good, maybe you get laid off or something like that, it's important to think through that kind of scenario, how you are going to respond. And what happens is you can show up more prepared to deal with uncertainty when it comes on you. So that's really important. The other thing I want to bring up is the bloomin' onion. I should not be talking about this right now because it's going to get me really hungry, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. There's a restaurant called the Outback Steakhouse, and they make this dish called the bloomin' onion. I'm about to get myself so hungry. I should not be talking about this right now. So what it is, if you don't know what this is, look it up online. They basically take an onion and they pierce it down the middle and they deep fry it and they bring it out on the tray in the Outback Steakhouse, and everybody in the restaurant looks at it and it gets to your table and disappears in like 2 minutes. And the reason I bring up the bloomin' onion is because you can see when the bloomin' onion comes out how many layers an onion has. But you and I both know that an onion has layers, but when the bloomin' onion comes out, you get to see the layers. You and I are no different. We both have many layers. But when you go to therapy or counseling, you get to see those layers. You see, there's what you know about yourself, what you don't know about yourself, and what you didn't know that you didn't even realize that you didn't know about yourself. And that's where therapy can help you. One thing that I encourage you to think about when it comes to pursuing therapy or embracing it, oftentimes we think we need to be in a bad place mentally to go to therapy. Not at all. Therapy is an opportunity for growth. So really being intentional about planning how you're going to cope ahead and going to therapy are two things that you can start doing to help with your anxiety starting today.